Hello everyone, Samantha back here saying a big hello. Hope life's treating you very well and it's a beautiful day here in the north of England. So today I thought we'd have a quick look at these little cuties. I love rings, don't you? I mean, I have the world's most hideous hands. They're big and fat and ugly and arthritic, and I come from a very long line of women in my family with very, very large hands. Great for digging. So I like to pretty them up with my jewellery and, you know, make some really, really pretty rings just to make them look slightly less ugly than they actually are. So today we're going to have a look at making these little cuties. They are made with 8 and 6mm beads, or look at these. These are made with just very, very affordable crystal beads that you can get from large online retailers. And how cute are they? Super for the summertime or for an evening, something like that. And you can make them in all sorts of different colours, lots of different types of wire, lots of different beads. These are a very, very pale blush pink. Aren't they lovely? And this one is with faux pearls and copper. Again, if you like the aged look, you know, the patinaed look, you can put a patina on these. Aren't they lovely? Okay, so let's go through a list of materials that we need for these little cuties. And I'll pop this one back on because it's mine and I love it. Okay, so you're going to need 0.8mm wire. And again, for the gauge equivalents, I'll put that down in the description box below. Or you can use... it's 20 gauge, here we go. So you can use this lovely artistic wire. There's lots of proprietary equivalents on the market, but I think artistic wire, it's a beautiful colours. This one's made with the gold, as you can see here. This one's made with the silver version, but you can use any wire at all as long as it's 20 gauge. I think that's probably the best wire for this particular ring. Okay, so your wires, you're going to need some chain nose pliers, obviously some decent flush cutters. Okay, you will need some beads, and today we're going to be using this beautiful faux pearl 8mm, and the that's like a pink blush colour, and then these ones on either side. These are 6mm. Okay, so like with everything else, I will pop the equivalents, etc., etc., in the description box below. Okay, and is there anything else that we need? Yes, you're going to need a ring mandrel or a cone, a ring cone. These come in lots of different types, but I tend to use this steel one. So as you can see, I do a bit of bashing on this one to make different things. You can use these slightly less expensive ones with a little notch at the back if you like, for the beads. So whatever you like, really. I've seen some people using marker pens, or indeed the lids to nail polish bottles, that kind of thing. But I think it's a good investment to buy one of these guys. This is quite affordable. It was only a few pounds. This was slightly more expensive, but I get a lot of use out of this. Okay, so that's what we're going to need today. So let's go ahead and make these cute little rings. Okay, see you in a second. Okay, so do you have all of your materials ready? That's good. So let's go for it. So let's have a look at the ring. This little cutie here obviously has a little crossover design, and it has 4 wraps underneath for comfort. 4 wraps underneath where it joins the finger. I think in the jewellery business it's known as a J backing for some reason. I'm not sure why. I just know that it sits nice and comfortably and sort of flat against the finger. These are super comfortable to wear, and look, even makes my big ugly hands look pretty. Okay, so let's go ahead and make this. So you're going to need your 8mm bead and 2 6mm beads, or alternatively, like I've said, you can use these guys here. Anything really, as long as you've got a larger central bead and 2 smaller external beads. Okay, so take your 20 gauge or 0.8mm wire. You will need quite a chunk of this actually. I'm going to suggest around, I take a size T, so for me I take about 55 centimeters. Okay, let's just measure that out just to be on the safe side. Yeah, I'm going to say about 55 centimeters for my size. Obviously, if you have much smaller and much more delicate hands than me, you'll need a little less. Okay, so chop your wire. The next thing you do is to pop your beads on. So your smaller bead and then your larger bead. Obviously, when you're choosing your beads, make sure obviously that your 0.8 wire 20 gauge will go through the actual bead hole. Okay, just working through the camera here, so bear with me. Okay, so we have our beads on. Now bring your beads into the center, find the center of the wire, pretty much just by folding it gently and moving your beads down. You can mark it if you want to, be extremely specific about it. It doesn't really matter, as long as it's in pretty much the center. Okay, like so. Cross your wires over like so. If you know your ring size, then great. If you don't, then just pop it on the finger that you want and sort of make a cursory bend as to ish how large you want you want the ring to be. Okay, so we have this. Now bring in your mandrel. Okay, so for me, again, I'm a size T, so I put the wire on about 1.5 to 2 sizes larger than you want it. Reason for this being is that when you are doing your final wrap at the end, it does bring the wires in slightly. So if you aim for a T, you're going to end up with an S or an R1/2. Okay, so always go a size 1.5 to 2 up when you're doing this initial part here. So I'm going to aim for a V. Okay, so can you see how we've got the wire crossing? Okay, so holding it nice and tight and taut if you can. You want to cross these wires without crossing them over. So this wire here underneath, this wire here over the top. Okay, keep everything nice and tight and happy. Okay, and then turn the mandrel over and cross over again. You see that? So at the back we have 4 wires. Try not to cross them over, keep them nice and flat. Okay, we see in this. Turn it over again, and then 1 over the top and 1 underneath. So we essentially have this. Okay, I hope you're picking that up on the camera okay. Lay the mandrel down and pull each one of these wires tightly. Okay, and as you're doing that, bend this one down and this one up. So we have this. This bit's quite fiddly, I'll not lie to you, but the more you do it, the better you get. Okay, so again, keeping all of these as neat as you can. Bend this bottom wire to the right, keeping it nice and tight. Bend this top wire over the top, again, keeping it nice and tight. Okay. The next thing we want to do, take the top wire and bend it just underneath that wire there, and then you want to bring it over the top of these 2 beads here. So over the top and round to the left. Okay, swap hands. This wire here, take it just underneath, okay, and we want to bring it underneath this wire, and the same thing over the top of these two beads and back over. Okay, can you see how that works? So bringing this wire underneath this top wire means that we have a nice cross on either side. So that's essentially it on the mandrel, okay? So we remove it from the mandrel and this is what we have. Okay, so as you can see, we have one coming across this way and the other one coming across the same way. So it's got a nice cross effect. What we need to do now is to start wrapping this wire underneath these 4 wires. Okay, so trying your hardest not to cross these wires here. You bring this wire in and under, like so. And then literally wire wrap. Okay, so I do it 2 wraps on either side just to secure everything. So turn it over, wrap it close to these guys here, use your finger to push it through and wrap and wrap again. Okay, so there we have it. Can you see how that works? So I usually like to put 4 wraps on mine just because it's comfortable and it's more secure. So we just want another wrap on either side. 1 and 2. And then the same on the other side. That's 2 wraps, 3 wraps, and 4. Okay, so there we have it. Then just give things a little bit of a squeeze, and then you want to come in with your cutters. Now I generally don't like to cut underneath because the sharp edges is right next to your finger, so I try and cut mine, and if you can see, just on the side, okay, on both sides, just as it starts to come over the top. I don't think that it looks bad at all, and it's more comfortable on the finger. Okay, so I would cut it around about there. Can you see that? And then again around about there. Okay, so then we'll come in with our chain nose, just squeeze things up a little bit, give things a little bit of a squidge there just to tidy things up. Okay, squeeze things in a little bit there. There you go. If you feel like it's not quite comfortable enough, you can come in with a tiny little emery board or a file. Okay, and there we have it. There is your beautiful crossover ring. There we go. And how's that? Just give things a little bit of a squeeze just to tidy things up. There we go. And that's it. That's absolutely it. How beautiful are these? Okay, so I hope you have lots of fun making lots and lots and lots and lots of these like I've done, and use some beautiful beads. I guess you could probably use them with smaller beads, you know, like maybe a 6 and 2 4s perhaps. That might be nice. Doesn't really matter. You could probably use them with all the same size beads as well if you like that kind of look, but I like the graduated look. So have lots of fun with these guys and let me know how you get on in the comments. I'd love to know how you get on with these cute things. Okay, I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.